So after 8 years of abstaining, I started playing League of Legends again at the start of Season 12. With my aspirations of climbing high, I chose a champion and started grinding, and after feeding a bunch, I started to get more comfortable with the champion and actually was doing pretty well. Although, right around that point, I found a different shiny meta champion that I wanted to switch mains to, although I don't know if you could really call a champ you play 15 games with a main. Anyways, over the course of the season, fast forward, I've done that routine with 36 different champions, and I've barely climbed at all. Now I know this video definitely isn't for everyone, but does this sound at all familiar to you? I'm Bucky Mayer, and I'm going to go through one simple trick we've all heard before to actually climb, but despite how obvious it is, even I don't follow it, so let me also explain a perspective on why myself and others like me continue our main hopping, and hopefully how we can collectively break through that mindset. So bear with me while I briefly explain it, as I'm sure you already know this. As you've probably guessed, the trick plain and simply is to limit your champion pool and commit to one champion, and maybe 1 or 2 flex picks for super tough matchups or when your champ is banned or taken. To climb, macro almost always wins out over technical proficiency, and you can't learn and excel at macro and other valuable game-winning skills if you're also uncomfortable with different matchups in your champion itself. By sticking to a champion through thick and thin, you get much better technically at them, where you can more consistently win your role and different matchups, but it also affords you the ability to practice and improve your macro, your decision-making, your positioning, vision control, communication, etc. But I think it's safe to say that we all could have figured that out if we didn't know it already. So what I really want to talk about is why this is so hard for people like us, or people that you get frustrated playing with, to do. So here are a couple reasons I've identified as to why this happens. 1. The game doesn't want us to stick with one champion. LoL is a free-to-play game that monetizes on RP, which is mostly used for purchasing skins and champions, and obviously that money is needed to power the game and the company. It is a business after all. Now, if you were to stick with just one champion, your monetary value over the course of you playing League for Riot is much smaller, because you're only likely to purchase, at max, skins for that one character. So instead of the possibility of you buying over 160 champions and 1,460 or more skins, you'd be at max most likely to spend RP on maybe 6 or so. So the game is designed for you to rotate champions, and the idea to switch characters is reinforced in its design. This is done partly through balance patches and changes in meta, through new releases and exciting skin lines, and through mastery only going up to level 7 with not much more to show for it than a number of points. The game doesn't care about you climbing. Climbing is not going to generate them more money, as much as enticing you to purchase other champions and skins will. Number 2, our brains are dopamine machines. In almost anything in life that takes skill, you might find you've gone through a similar routine as this champion pick dilemma before. You try something, and at the start you're pretty bad at it, but because you've got so much to learn, in the beginning you're improving rapidly and really feeling that improvement. Once you've got the basics down, improving gets harder and you begin to plateau. And at this point, our brains want that feeling of improvement again, and we're short-term thinkers naturally, so we want it as quickly as possible. So switching to something else and getting those early gains feels so much easier than putting in the work to push past that plateau, which takes consistency, patience, and deliberate thought. So to break through these two truths, we need to first understand why we're playing League. If you're purely playing for the fun of just playing the game, good on you. Keep doing you and playing whatever champions you want. But if you truly want to get better or climb, then the best way to do that is to stop champion hopping and work on consistently improving yourself as a player with one. Break through those plateaus, keep sight of your goal of climbing, and push past the desire for novelty in favor of boredom. I recently read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear that really resonated with me on this topic and is actually the reason for this video, which I'll leave you with a quote from. "The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored with habits, or in our case champions, because they stop delighting us. The outcome becomes expected. And as our habits become ordinary, again, champions, we start derailing our progress to seek novelty. Perhaps this is why we get caught up in a never-ending cycle, jumping from one workout to the next, one diet to the next, one business idea to the next, or one champion to the next. As soon as we experience the slightest dip in motivation, we begin seeking a new strategy, even if the old one was still working. As Machiavelli noted, men desire novelty to such an extent that those who are doing well wish for a change as much as those who are doing badly." I highly recommend this book if you're looking to improve in League or in anything else in your life and want practical reasons or ways to do it. But anyways, I'm just the scrubby gamer Bucky Mayer making a YouTube video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on other reasons you think people you know or yourself hop champions in the comments. And hey, if you like this, I'd love if you like the video, and I swear I'll play one more game with my current main if you subscribe. Best of luck on the Rift, thanks for watching, and see you next time.